It has been more than 16 months since the pandemic took over the world. In the last 1.5 years, we have learned a lot of new things about the virus, but new symptoms still keep showing up every day. One such symptom is doing rounds in hospitals across India, and it is called mucormycosis, better known as a black fungal infection. While the news of the symptom has sparked widespread alarm, it is important to understand that it doesn't affect everyone. So let's understand what causes this infection and why is it suddenly being reported in COVID-19 survivors. Mucormycosis or black fungus is a rare fungal infection. It is caused by a group of moles called mucormycetes. These moles live throughout the environment and it is often seen in the form of blackish moles. The black fungus affects the sinuses, the brain and the lungs. While it has been observed among recorded COVID-19 patients, it mostly affects immunocompromised patients, those with diseases like diabetes, cancer and others. According to the US's CDC, it is most common among diabetic patients. So what are the symptoms? It ranges from a headache to even nasal congestion. Patients typically have a stuffy and bleeding nose, swelling and pain in the eyes, the drooping of eyelids and often loss of vision. If diagnosed late, it even has a mortality rate of around 50%. Prior to the pandemic, the infection was very rare, but the sudden rise can be attributed to multiple factors. One is the use of steroids among COVID-19 patients. The black fungal infection is being triggered by the use of steroids. Exposure to wet surfaces also increases the chances of infection. The top Indian doctors have attributed the rise of the infections to steroid overuse. The use of hygienic oxygen like clean concentrators can also prevent infections. Several hospitals in Gujarat, Maharashtra and Delhi are now witnessing a rise of black fungal infections. 8 people have lost their eyesight in Gujarat, and while the news of a new symptom has added to the panic, Niti Aayog member V.K. Paul says that it is not a big issue. He also reiterated that it is not a big outbreak. While the frequency of this fungal infection is on the rise during the second wave, one way to stall it is administering the right dose and duration of steroids when treating COVID-19 patients. When detected on time, it is often treated with an antifungal intravenous injection. Beyond World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.
And also released a list of do's and don'ts that one needs to do and observe if they have recovered from COVID-19. We are putting out all the details in the report.
With increasing number of COVID infections across the nation, the virus-induced black fungus or cases of mucormycosis are on the rise as well. Usually found in COVID patients with high diabetes level and prolonged ICU treatment, the fungus infection can prove to be fatal if they are left unattended.
It is a mixture of uncontrolled diabetes with a lot of steroid and immunosuppression. Then they get susceptible to get unusual atypical infections. And one of them is the mucormycosis. If diagnosed early, it can be picked up early. The other thing which happens is often there is a lot of moisture which is there around the oxygen generating equipment like mask, etc. And that makes the milieu more inappropriate. So we need to take some very simple measures like cleaning the mouth, throat, nose, and ensuring that we control the glucose or sugar very tightly.
Doctors and experts have warned against taking the black fungus lightly, as it can lead to extensive surgeries like removal of lung lobes or whole lung from the patient's body.
As a rhinocerebral form, which means affection of the paranasal sinuses, the eyes, and then spreading to the brain in those cases where it is not controlled timely. However, this fungus can affect other organs as well. For example, we have seen good number of cases in the pulmonary, affecting the lungs, what we call as pulmonary mucormycosis. So in those patients, we have managed these patients with very extensive surgeries like lobectomies, that is removal of the lobe of the lung or even removal of one lung itself.
The center has released an advisory that has listed down a series of do's and don'ts for people who have been infected with the fungus. The advisory jointly released by the Health Ministry and the ICMR has advised people not to ignore warning signs of the infection along with a flow chart for what to do and what not to do. Patients have been advised to monitor blood sugar levels and maintain hygiene during oxygen therapy. While Niti Aayog's VK Paul reassured that the outbreak of the black fungus was not yet massive in the country,
नहीं है तो बहुत अनकॉमन है कि म्यूकरमाइकोसिस हो। सुनने में आया है कि कुछ एरियाज में इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है कि जो कोविड से ठीक हो गए, कोविड चल रहा था, उनको म्यूकरमाइकोसिस हुआ। लेकिन ये भी याद रहे कि ऐसी बहुत बड़ी कोई आउटब्रेक हो रही है, ऐसा भी नहीं नज़र में है। वॉच कर रहे हैं और अपने तरीके से इसका सर्वेलेंस हम कर रहे हैं। तो रीअश्योर करना चाहेंगे कि ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत बड़ी जैसे कोई